Now I know there are some certain videos around YouTube that kind of explore into this topic, but today I kind of wanted to make a definitive video for what people could potentially expect on these next generation consoles, but don't entirely get your hopes up, because within the ideas of how powerful a graphics card can be versus the budget, and just making a console at a fair price is quite difficult, except for the PS5 Pro. I don't know what that was. But one thing gaming companies don't do is actually enhance the graphics themselves by including more immersion into the game itself, rather than just trying to make the graphics as realistic as possible. And this has been proven time and time again with these upcoming projects which look phenomenal, and some showcase of what Unreal Engine 5 is truly capable of. And the reason I'm making this video is because I saw the potential of what these games could look like through the new recent Black Ops 6 which has come out. And that game's lighting, a lot of people don't really mention it, but it's so good. I love it so much. So this video kind of predicts what the future generation consoles could potentially look like. Maybe not the next generation or the generation after, but we never know, it could even be the next generation. But before we get into this video, if you could leave me a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed this video, that would be amazing, because I'm trying to grow my channel and I want to really just make some amazing quality content. So we're going to go through about 6 videos today. The first game is called Body Cam. This game looks amazing. I love how realistic it looks, and I'm going to show you. So the graphics aren't necessarily enhanced, but because they're using certain aspects within the actual limitations of hardware itself, such as making the movements of the characters look more realistic, and just the utilization of lighting massively helps the game look incredible. Now I'm going to show you what I mean. Like, when they're pressing like on this receiver, it looks realistic. Like, this is a video game, believe it or not. Like, even just the way the gun tilts, like, it looks realistic. Even like the way the camera moves. The effect, the use of the lighting is like reflecting so well. Now the reason I wanted to show this is because the way that you animate a certain person in a video game can massively influence how realistic it is, because some games you don't even necessarily need crazy graphics. I think what really needs to be emphasized is animation and the way that certain things look, rather than thinking about the textures or the attention to detail, which is important, but I feel like this is mainly important. Another really important thing is the use of sound effects. Like, even like how realistic the gun can look. I don't think this is the best like representation of it, but this is, the graphics in this are so good. This is just showing like what games could potentially look like. This is obviously not in its final state, but like even just like the way that the leaves are like swaying in the wind, and like how realistic it looks, it's not like over the top. Even the lighting as well, you can definitely tell. I mean, yeah, even like the use of the weather. Okay, this is a very solid representation. This game's called Body Cam, by the way. What I really like about this game is how they're able to utilize just like a couple aspects of an engine and then make it look so realistic based off of the lighting. Yeah, like, see how like the light of the bullets reflect through the room? So they're not necessarily just utilizing graphics, but they're utilizing the way that the lighting works, and I love that so much. And even just the way that the gun tilts and like the way that the gun reflects off of things, it just looks so perfect. Now, in essence of how the game will play, I don't think that really matters. I just think what matters is making it look as realistic as possible. Also, another thing that I feel like is really cool is it shows that the weight of the gun. I love the death animations, the way that like the gun kind of shakes to show that the person is nervous. I really like that. This is another aspect of gameplay. I love how like the gun kind of flows down very quickly. It's not like instant like it is in other games, but I feel like other games like COD have to make it not like super duper duper like as realistic as this, because it's obviously a competitive game. Yeah, like even like the use of just the dark. The dark is one thing, because, you know, lighting up a room just looks so good in this game. Notice how like all of the light from the sky is like completely like lighting up the whole room and like darkening certain areas. It just adds like that extra little bit of tint and makes the game look more realistic. Yeah, look, even when like he's shooting, you can see like the bullets lighting up as it travels through the room. I mean, even this is another representation. As you can see like the sort of like dust particles and like the way that you see this through the person. The most important thing I think is making sure that the game is as realistic as possible, in the sense that you are the person. And I think this is very important, because the graphics here aren't incredibly mind-blowing, but I think it's the way that the lighting reflects. Even like in certain moments, like if you're playing Call of Duty, for example, when you notice like a sunset or a sunrise, or you notice the reflection on water, the game looks more realistic without even trying, because it's just utilizing those types of graphics. Even just subtle things like the way that the entire room lights up when you shoot a weapon, or like the way the entire camera shakes, or the way that he's moving his gun in general. It just looks so much more professional. And even just like turning on the light as well. And also the weather effects. Now, this is obviously going to need a lot of powerful hardware to run, so seeing this run on a PS6 or a new series console by Xbox is kind of unrealistic, and the reason I say that is not because of hardware limitations, but the price and obviously the budget, because if they're selling these consoles, they want to keep them around that $500 range, and I doubt this is really going to hit that mark. But hey, we've seen some beautiful games come out by companies that don't really have a huge budget, and one game that comes to mind is Bright Memory Infinite. Like, that game looks very good, and it's not even like a huge budget game. Okay, now I think everyone's seen this game. This game specifically really impressed me. Like, you can even hear like the kind of like the breathing through the guy's mouth. You can see how realistic the way that everything looks. Like, this is where graphics are fully utilized in tangent with the lighting. I don't know how this looks so realistic. This game looks so good. Even like the running animation, the fact that you can hear the wind whilst he's running. Yeah, this is awesome. The way that the gun has weight, so like when you shoot, you can feel the force of the weapon. The lighting here is perfect. This is awesome. I genuinely right. This is one of the best looking games that I've ever seen. Like, I think one of the devs literally had to say that this game was not someone filming with, like, I don't know, green screen to kill enemies and stuff. Even, like, the animations are so good. Like, you don't need crazy graphics, but this game has got out of this world graphics that I think it's unbeatable, to be honest. I don't know how this game looks that good. Even just, like, the way that, like, the camera moves, it feels so realistic. I feel like at this part, you can kind of tell that it's a game. But even so, this looks so good. This is genuinely the best looking game that I've ever seen. Like, graphics-wise, the sound is perfect. It feels like it's like an actual movie. Like, I feel like they could actually start using some of these, like, things for specific movie scenes if they even wanted to. Like, oh, look at the reflection on the van as well. Yeah, this is so cool. I love this. I know I keep saying this over and over, but, like, the fact that we could be seeing these graphics within the next 5 to 6 years is amazing. But I think the most important thing is the animation. That is very, very important. Man, animation and lighting. Look, even the way that the chair just fell off there. Yeah, this game's called Unrecord. Awesome game. Okay, now this is Unreal Engine 5. This massively impressed me because of just the way that you can hear the birds tweeting, you can hear, just everything sounds so good. The graphics in this look phenomenal. You can feel yourself as you walk through the forest. Like, it genuinely feels so immersive. I love this so much. The reflections of the water look amazing. I love how, like, it's not trying too hard to be realistic with, like, the saturation, or, like, making it incredibly, like, wet, but it genuinely looks, like, really, like, impressive. Like, this actually looks like a raw forest. I was genuinely super impressed by this. But the craziest thing about this is, whilst this looks incredibly impressive, this is not the best. Like, oh my god, even look at that. Look at that. Look at, like, the way that the sun is beaming down on certain areas. It makes it look more realistic. But yeah, as I was saying, this is actually not the most realistic game that I was going to show. There is another video after this that looks even more impressive, and I can't wait to show you that. But I'm obviously not going to show this whole video. I just want to show you sort of like the way that, like, some of the water effects could look. Like, there is so much attention to detail with this. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, such as there being sound effects for things that aren't even there. But, like, as a graphical showcase of what things could look like, this looks amazing. I mean, yeah, Unreal Engine 5 looks phenomenal. I'll leave all these videos in the... Okay, now this is one of the most impressive videos on this video. This looks so good. Unreal Engine 5 is cooking so hard. The amount of detail and, like, fidelity that they've put into just simple things. I love this noir effect. Like, I know it's raining, but, like, this looks real. This is genuinely the most impressive video. Like, out of all the videos that are on this video, this is the most impressive. Like, this looks so good. Like, yeah, it's very short, but if we're able to actually implement these types of graphics into video games, I can't imagine what a game in 2030 is going to look like, because Unreal Engine, it's killing it. It looks so good. One thing that may be an issue though is making it so these games can actually like handle these type of graphics, and the consoles themselves. A lot of optimization, a lot. Anyway, this is the next one I want to show you. This is the massive importance of lighting, and I think this is just like a filter as well, because this looks really real. Like, really real. Like, it's also just like the way the camera moves as well. Like, it feels like someone's actually like gone in and recorded this. But I feel like if the camera wasn't like kind of like this, it wouldn't have looked like that impressive, but still. And you know the graphics are getting really good, and I'm saying that this is like B tier compared to like the other videos that we've seen on this video. But yeah, this still looks phenomenal. I love the use of the lighting. I love the way that like things look so like slightly darker in the... Something we have to see is we have to see a horror game like this, because a horror game would look so good in this. It would actually be terrifying, but also really awesome. Oh yes. Oh yes. Just imagine the next, like, Spider-Man or something looks like this. Now, it's highly unrealistic because of, like, the limitations of the people that have been making these types of graphics have been crushing it, like, so hard. Okay, now this is the last video that I want to show. The reason I wanted to show this was because there was actually, like, a lot of things implemented. Now, this isn't, like, what any of the previous games in this video look like, but this is kind of like a visual representation of what something could look like, not obviously with the same graphics, but imagine the graphics of the things in this video previously, with this kind of like idea in mind that everything is so polished, because this looks like a fully like world. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is, this actually looks like it's like a game. Like, oh my god, like, that with, like, the amount of photorealism that is in some of these Unreal Engine 5 demos, oh my god, it would just look so good. And you gotta remember that this is running on an RTX 4090, so even some of these graphics look incredible. But the ones from Bodycam, specifically Unrecord, best hands down. And also Unreal Engine 5 is the best video on this entire video, like the one with the forest. That looks so good. I can't wait to see if they can actually implement that into the future generation consoles, which I'm very confident that they can, because it just looks amazing. Okay, this is another video. This is the final video that I'm going to show of what a game could look like with like ultra realistic graphics. This looks like something that you'd see from like an old childhood memory. But yeah, this one's not visually as impressive as the one from Unreal Engine 5, but still, this looks amazing. I know you might think that I'm saying this just for the sake of saying this, but if you look at the graphics from a couple years ago versus now, yeah, this is actually one of the first times where I've been impressed by graphics, because there have been some games that have had like really good graphics, like Black Ops 6 is an exception because of the astounding lighting, but if you were to compare Vanguard to Cold War, it would be quite similar, to be honest. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please ensure to subscribe and like if you did enjoy this video, and please leave me a comment for future videos that you would like or enjoy, and I love and I really hope that the graphics are like this. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you in the next one.